don't think there's any doubt that everyone knows, the bishops, the participants, the delegates, the entire Catholic Church knows that the plenary council in Australia has been a total disaster. I mean, if you just go to their Facebook page for the plenary council, you'll see so many people disappointed, upset, and even disillusioned about the Catholic Church here in Australia and what they came to agree on and vote on with all the motions throughout the entire week, but even throughout the past 4 years when they have been discerning. The council has been a total disaster. Well, you would notice that some of the comments mentioned that it has been a total waste of time. Can you imagine? It's been 4 years in discernment, and all they could come up with were all of these woke topics. Nothing that reflects the common believer who sits in the pews week in and week out. It was also stated that it has been a complete waste of money. Can you imagine what would have costed to bring all of these delegates together, and all the while, all these families are struggling and are putting into the basket, into the collection plate every week. And this is how they make use of your donation, by wasting your time, wasting your money, and voting on things that are contrary to the Catholic faith. I would even go so far as to say that by putting money in the collection for them to do this makes us also complicit in their sin. And I think if this is how they are going to use our money, our collection, I think we might just as well stop putting on the collection plate each week or each Sunday, and find a good priest, a good faithful priest who adheres to all of the teachings, not just some of them, but all of the teachings of the Catholic Church, of the magisterium, of tradition, and give that money to him personally, and make sure that they know that it's for him and him alone. Otherwise, he might put it back into the parish, where they could use on things that can be destructive to the church here in Australia. Yeah, it's gone to such waste, and I think the comments on the Facebook page of the Plenary Council Facebook page got so bad that they started deleting comments, and even deleting accounts and blocking them altogether. That's how bad it got in terms of the backlash that they received from the faithful Catholics, trying to point out the error of their ways. But still, they don't listen. And the Plenary Council was all about listening and discernment. And there they are, deleting our comments and blocking people just because of us pointing out the truth. Throughout the entire Plenary Council, we saw all of the topics that were up for vote, but they were all pretty much woke topics, like an incorporation of Aboriginal spirituality. When was the last time we ever saw an Aboriginal person sitting in the pews, perhaps maybe in the Northern Territory, but other than that, when was the last time an Aboriginal person was sitting there week in, week out in the pews? And here we are. We're forced to incorporate their spirituality in their liturgy. And how many times do we have to acknowledge country? Once we've acknowledged it once, can't we remember it? Why do we have to acknowledge the country each time an event takes place? It's ridiculous. And then we've got the embracing of the ecological issues of Laudato Si that Pope Francis wrote in his writing, his document. I don't think anyone really cares about the green agenda. It's just because Pope Francis has written this document, and so the bishops are too scared to ignore it. And so they're always talking about the cry of the earth, the cry of the poor. What about the cry of the faithful? You know, so many of our families have lost their faith, and they're really struggling out there to teach the faith. And here we are, talking about the cry of the earth and cry of the poor. We can't even look after ourselves. How can we look after the environment? And so they haven't achieved anything substantial throughout the entire week, and none of the agendas have touched on any topic that has been pertinent to the average Catholic who is there week in, week out, every Sunday, and contributing to the life of the church. And I'm quite sure that a lot of those delegates, a lot of those participants at the plenary council are not even regular mass goers. They would probably be professional Catholics going whenever they feel like, not even observing the holy days of obligation. And these are the people who are making the decisions of the future of the church in Australia. How ridiculous. It was so disappointing to see how bishops, they didn't even offer any teaching at all during the plenary council, but just left it all to the periti, the so-called periti, the so-called experts of theology, and to give us these dissertations. I think they know it was a complete disaster on both ends. Not only were they ignoring the faithful Catholics, but they didn't even satisfy what the liberals, the radical left-wingers wanted, which was the ordination of women and the inclusion of LGBTQIA plus people in some way. And I don't understand that. The LGBTQIA plus people have always been included. They're always welcome into the church, but we don't encourage them in their sin. We encourage them to turn to a new way of life, of turning to Christ and not acting on their sexual orientation. So I don't know where we get the idea that LGBTQIA plus people are not welcome in the church. That is an absolute nonsense. And so we gotta keep praying. I don't think that the people at the plenary council even know why the Catholic Church even exists with those topics that they were handling or those topics that they were dealing with. The Catholic Church is there for the salvation of souls. If anyone says any different, they're trying to push an agenda that is unfaithful to the magisterium. And so, everyone out there, the church, the Catholic Church, is there for the salvation of souls. And if we're not doing that, the church is not doing what it was called to do by Christ. So, thank you for watching this video again. I'm just trying to get the word out so that the laity know what is happening inside the Catholic Church, because if we are uninformed, they can do whatever they like. They can make up whatever they like, and we just have to suffer and accept it. And also, if you could share this video, and even subscribe, so that more people can be more informed about the Catholic Church here in Australia. These are very dark times for us in Australia, given that the bishops are not fighting for the faith. They're just letting those with left-wing ideologies to take over, and they're too scared to do anything for fear of perhaps money collection, and the church might be poor, and that might not be a bad thing, to return the church into poverty, so that we can finally focus on what we're meant to be doing, which is to carry on the mission of church and to preach the gospel of the Lord, which is for the salvation of all souls. So thank you everyone once again for watching my video. Please try to share this video as much as you can. I'm trying to make as many videos as I can, so that the word can get out there. When they started blocking people and censoring people on their Facebook page, I realized that we needed this channel to act as an outlet, so that faithful Catholics can come together and fight for the faith, because the bishops are sure aren't fighting for us, and so we gotta stay faithful and stay strong. So God bless everyone, and take care.